Oh, good morning and welcome to Live Impact News on this Memorial Day Monday. It is 10:01 a.m. on May 25th. There is a light rain falling upon our station here in Norfolk, and we enter into a new week on a note of remembrance and gratitude and honor for those who have sacrificed in order to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy here in the United States of America, and the freedoms that are sort of the foundation of what we hope to profess as a nation. So it is Memorial Day Monday. We will have plenty of Memorial Day events. We've got 2 live ones happening right now, but we're going to get to all that in just a little bit because first, we have super producer Sarah Calloway, who's here in the building. Hello, Sarah. And she is joined by none other than meteorologist Craig Moeller, who comes to us with, I'm assuming, a healthy amount of barbecue in your belly from the weekend.
I have eaten pretty well over the weekend, but how about a quick round of applause for Sarah, who worked last night till like midnight producing on the news side, on the broadcast side, and you turned around. You said a team of horses could not keep me away from Live Impact News this morning.
Connor also worked.
Wait, you worked the 11 too?
Yes, Craig. Where's my round of applause, man? Can
Connor,
I get some claps?
I am so impressed. Well, you were, anyway, all right.
I'll tell you what, though.
Championing Sarah, I did not realize you were there as well.
We were both there. It would have taken much less than a team of horses to keep me at home, though. I think one small baby pony, and I would have just turned around,
That's it.
Walked right back into my apartment and called
lamb.
out.
They've got the new lambs out there at the Hunt Club farm, and yeah, you feel like that's enough.
I see one of those in the parking lot. Nope, I'm out. I'm going back
I got
inside.
You. Well, I will tell you, as you guys were probably falling asleep at some point at your locations, I was waking up this morning because I've been up and tracking showers all morning. Hasn't been crazy, but we do want to get you ready for this Memorial Day. And with all the observances going on, I know we've got some things actually starting right now. There's one in Norfolk. There's a parade and then a wreath laying. There's numerous different events going on, some up in Yorktown. There's some in Williamsburg. There's just different festivities going on and observances, really not festivities, but observances going on around our region. So I want to get into this. We do have more rain chances coming up as we go through the afternoon and again tomorrow morning. So it's not going to be nonstop. Oh my gosh, will it ever stop raining? No, it'll be off and on, but we've got pretty good chances this afternoon and into the evening, and then a break tomorrow after about midday. I think tomorrow afternoon looks pretty good. And much of Wednesday looks okay. Another round coming up late Wednesday into early Thursday. The good news, it looks like a little bit longer stretch of drier weather from, say, Thursday morning around 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Most of Thursday. Friday looks amazing. And then into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday not looking bad next weekend, but a chance for a few stray showers. All right, that's the general outlook. Let's give you some specifics. Yesterday, we picked up about almost 1/3 of an inch, between 1/4 and 1/3 of an inch of rain around Norfolk at the airport there, 0.29. Heavier amounts down in North Carolina, some places over 2 inches of rain. So there was some heavier rain in spots, but at the airport, 0.29. That leaves us 5.32 inches below average. Yesterday's high was 70. We're right now in the upper 70s, and we're headed for highs today in the low 80s. Now, at the beaches today, not the most beautiful beach day. I get it. There is a high threat of rip currents down at the Outer Banks. For Virginia Beach at the oceanfront, we have a moderate threat. So just keep mindful of that as you're going about if you do decide you want to head out. And the UV index, it's so counterintuitive. You see the clouds there and the rain symbols, and you're going, how could the UV index be high today? Well, at times it will be lower or moderate. But if we get some thinning of the clouds, little bit of sunshine peeking through, even when the clouds are bright and you have overcast, you could still get a sunburn. So technically just be prepared if the clouds do part at times today, which it may, you could get a sunburn pretty quickly. All right, there's a look at the skies over Norfolk. At times we've had showers this morning. Right now, the Thompson Creek Window Company sky view from our tower, not looking too bad out there. Again, mostly cloudy skies. But for the moment, downtown Norfolk is dry. 75 at the airport, west-southwest winds 8 miles per hour. There is more rain out to the west into the southwest. So let's dive into this. This is what you paid to see, right, Sarah? You care. She cares too much.
Have you been paying, Sarah? I've been sending Craig money every single month for his Live Impact News contributions. I hope that you are also paying.
Somebody's rifling through my work mailbox because I haven't gotten those checks. That's okay. I'm here out of passion and love for this craft. Let's take a look at where it is raining right now. And I want to start off by showing you, if you are around Fort Story, the north end, Virginia Beach, you can see, take a look, Atlantic Avenue there. You get up north of the Cavalier and you pick up the rain back through Bay Colony, Allenton. This is moderate to heavier rain. It's not the heaviest rain we've ever seen, but it's coming down at a good enough clip. Let's show you some of the rainfall rates here. Right now, north of Bay Colony, you've got, just about 3/4 of an inch per hour. That's one of the higher readings right there. But at times, again, this is moderate to heavier rain. So we just want folks to be mindful of that. As you're out, it's certainly enough to leave the roads wet around Old Donation. You saw that, Southern Points, back down through Lynn Haven. We've got that moderate rain. Right now, as you head towards Oceana, light showers, SeaTac, seeing some light showers as well. You go farther north, you get up again towards the resorts there, you're picking up the light showers. Good news, if you're in Chicks Beach, you're in the clear now. The Lesnar had some rain earlier. They're in better shape. Down around Acredale, you can see that area is still dealing with showers. And then we're really pretty good off to the southwest. So I think we're going to be dry for a while. I mentioned up around Williamsburg and Yorktown, they also have these observances. Dry for now, but these showers here out to the west, moving to the east-northeast. So if I was going to be up around Williamsburg, Centerville, over to Oak Tree, I would think, okay, there's a chance for showers within the next hour or so as those move along. And again, I think that Williamsburg observance is at noon. Do you guys have that information? I don't know if Sarah. Oh, it's at 10? Yeah. Okay, Yorktown. One of them's at noon. I knew that. One was at 10, one was at noon. I know the Norfolk one was at 10. So that's what's going on out there in terms of the current radar. Now, Futurecast plays out like this. We've got those showers kind of filling in this afternoon around 3 o'clock, but there'll be some holes in the action, so some breaks here and there, additional scattered showers potentially overnight. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be tracking more rain for you, and you can see these areas across the south side right there. I'll use the arrow on the screen to show you the ocean front, pretty wet. This is 7 a.m., a wet morning commute. Those showers with us in the morning, but during the afternoon, we start to dry it out. And then, as I mentioned, much of Wednesday looking pretty good, guys. Just another round of wet weather coming up late Wednesday. So today, 82, we'll call that. Scattered showers, a few stray storms a possibility. We are not outlooked for severe weather, so that's good news. You don't have to worry about tornadoes or large hail or anything like that. Not from the Storm Prediction Center. They don't have us outlooked. And really, it just doesn't look like that dramatic of a setup. Showers are going to be likely again early tomorrow, but improvements later in the day. As I mentioned, the chances for rain kind of up and down here as we go over the next 48 hours. There'll be some breaks in the action, but more showers tomorrow morning. Improvements coming later on. And as I mentioned, we'll see that rain chance for the next few days, but drier Thursday into Friday, and the weekend not looking too bad. Here's the 7-day. After a mostly sunny Friday, I expect partly cloudy skies Saturday and Sunday with a few isolated showers possible. I'm looking forward to getting out and enjoying the outdoors next weekend. And if you are, don't change your plans. Just know there could be a couple stray showers. Questions?
What's that going to look like, you getting out and enjoying the outdoors? What are we talking here?
Might involve a little staycationing, camping, beach time. Yeah, we love to hit. We've got these great local parks that we enjoy doing. We don't have to go far because you've got the beach right here. But we do we've got a little travel trailer we enjoy playing with. And
a little travel trailer.
Yeah, a little Airstream. It's fun.
Hey, now. Okay, that sounds great. Now, can you, if you are out in the wilderness and you are without any natural or I guess man-made source, can you create fire?
Can I create? I could create fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Do I get flint?
You got some flint.
Yeah, I can do it with
You got a good amount of flint.
Yeah, I mean, if it's rubbing sticks,
Yeah.
I mean, my shoulder's a little sore from pickleball, so it's kind of hard to create that friction right now. Give it a week or so. But,
Yep. Memorial Day pickleball is the most
I
competitive.
can survive. I was a tent camper growing up, and then we had some RVs as a kid as well, so kind of an outdoor guy.
All right,
Come on
learning
now.
new things.
Come on
things
now.
about Craig Moeller today. And I had never seen that chart that you had with the rain there.
Yeah,
where it kind of
showing
moved
the
along. I like
slope,
that.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll
very
break
good.
that out for you more. You guys, I'm just going to say, and we're going to go to break here real quick. Thank you to the men and women that serve our country. And I think about those who have fallen, those who've given it all. My dad served in the Navy. He did not die in combat. He lived and came back stateside and did a phenomenal job raising me. But we do know folks that have sacrificed, and even some family members. My mom had an uncle that died, I believe it was Normandy. And again, that was something for the family, and they held that. So for those of you that are involved, and I know our military community is huge, we thank you so very, very much. And again, not just the men and women that are serving, but the families that are behind. That's all part of that sacrifice. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah, poignant and necessary note from Craig Moeller, because you can see the parade on your screen here, all the beach days, the barbecues. It's easy sometimes to maybe become a little detached or lose sight of what Memorial Day is all about, and that is what it's all about, Craig. So we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you then.
And we will see everybody else in just about 2 minutes. We're going to take a brief commercial break, and then we're going to listen in on some of these Memorial Day events that we have happening live around the country right now. All right, we're back here in the Live Impact News studio, where we're going to explore some of these National Memorial Day events that are happening right now. First, we're going to go out to Washington, D.C. This is the National Memorial Day Parade happening in the nation's capital right now. On your screen at this very moment, it looks like we got some classic cars going on. Greg, what kind of car is this? I feel like you would know this type of thing. What are we working with right here? Craig Moeller giving us a little vehicle identification here.
I do see these vehicles. They're older. I can see that.
Okay, older vehicles
Older
is the
vehicles.
official designation.
I would say, man, yeah, those are some good-looking cars. Those were before my time, Connor.
They keep the spare. Oh, I thought you. Okay, I thought I saw you rolling around in one of these here recently.
My first car. It was a 1928 whatever.
There you go. And
those are beautiful.
Those are beautiful cars. I love how they have the spare tire just right there on the door on the side. The Gary Sinise Foundation. Gary Sinise, an actor, a Hollywood actor, does an amazing amount of work with veterans and the armed services. He was speaking at this event a little earlier. Let's take a listen in and see if we can hear any of the festivities as they go.
Please welcome the Jewish War Veterans of the USA. They are the nation's longest active veteran service organization, founded in 1896 by Jewish Union Civil War veterans. Their mission is to support our veterans, fight anti-Semitism, and preserve the memory and service of those who've served before. Joining the Jewish War Veterans, we are honored to welcome 4 veterans of World War II. Among them are Milton Kalin, 102 years old and recipient of the Bronze Service Medal. Colonel Frank Cohn, 101 years old, a refugee from Nazi Germany. David Marshall, 101, Bronze Star and veteran of the Battle of the Bulge. And Albert Jacobs, also 101, and a radio operator in the China-Burma-India Theater. Joining these heroes are Jewish veterans who have served in the U.S. military since Korea. These veterans represent the 500,000 Jewish men and women who've served during World War II and the 270,000 current Americans living Jewish veterans who have served since. From Bristol, Tennessee, making their debut along Constitution Avenue, here is the Tennessee High School Mighty Viking Band. The band has a strong history of excellence and has won the Tennessee Bandmasters Sweepstakes for decades.
This band is great. Let's take a listen.
This award-winning band uses musicianship, hard work, discipline, dedication, and compassion as tools to overcome all obstacles.
This band has marched to the Memorial Day Parade for over a decade. Let's listen to the soul of the blue and gold. Our next float is made possible by the Gary Sinise Foundation, founded by actor and humanitarian Gary Sinise. Among its many initiatives, the Gary Sinise Foundation honors the families of our fallen military heroes who joined Gary in today's parade. Today, we remember their sacrifices.
In addition to uplifting our families of fallen heroes, the Gary Sinise Foundation serves as our nation's most severely wounded military members. It supports our veterans, provides grants for our first responders, and so much more. They are impacting the lives of those who serve in the defense of freedom each and every day. So a huge thank you to the Gary Sinise Foundation. And thank you, Gary, one of the parade's great champions.
As we celebrate America's 250th,
we thank our service members and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
we're proud to support the National Memorial Day Parade and back service members across the nation because
Boeing backs America.
Presented by Boeing is brought to you by Freedom 250, celebrating the triumph of the American spirit. Events DC, Gary Sinise Foundation, U-Haul, John Deere, and by the American Veterans Center, founders of today's parade. Join our mission at AmericanVeteransCenter.org. For nearly 200 years, John Deere has been honored to support our heroes and those who have helped protect the American dream. This Memorial Day, 30,000 John Deere employees keep these brave Americans close to our hearts as we continue to invest in our country's future.
Let's welcome Mount St. Mary Academy Marching Band, the only all-girls marching band in the state of New York. Making their first appearance in our parade, let's take a listen.
Founded by Dr. Jennifer London in 2019, the American History and Founders Month organization's mission is to permanently designate November as National American History and Founders Month. The organization is working with Congress to make this happen.
Here they are, the Gilbert High School Marching Indians from Gilbert, South Carolina. This past fall, the band won the title of the South Carolina 3A Lower State Champions. With their patriotic salute, let's listen to these champion musicians and you'll see why they won.
Okay, welcome back here to Live Impact News. We sincerely apologize for the delay and the interruption. We had some technical difficulties here in the studio, but we are back up and running and good to go. So we are going to continue to explore all of our Memorial Day events that are happening around the country. And we actually have 3 that are either in progress right now or getting set up and getting ready to go. You see them on your screen as we speak here. So let's go through these. On the left side of your screen, we have got the National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. Up on the bottom right side of your screen, that is where President Trump will take part in a wreath-laying ceremony and deliver remarks at Arlington National Ceremony. And then up at the top there, the top corner of your screen, that's also Arlington National Cemetery, but that is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So all of these events happening kind of in conjunction with each other, or at least throughout the day. And then we also have a 4th event in New York City where Mayor Zohran Mamdani will be speaking at the Intrepid Museum at some point. So quite a bit being done all around the country, of course, to honor and remember those who have sacrificed so much to protect American freedoms and values. So we will be going back and forth between a lot of these events throughout the stream today, and we'll try to keep everything sort of on course and organized, but we want to make sure that we can visit with as many of these events as we can. So for now, let's head back out to Washington, D.C.
The next float is made possible by Events DC, the official convention and sports authority of Washington, D.C. Events DC creates unique experiences that result in jobs, economic impact, and lasting memories for residents, tourists, and guests. As the official host of the nation's capital, Events DC showcases DC as a world-class, family-friendly, and globally recognized destination, welcoming visitors from around the corner and around the world. Events DC, world-class people delivering world-class events.
Now, riding on the float, she's a mighty beautiful lady. That's our Miss America 2026, Cassie Donegan. A theater and voice teacher, Cassie promotes the value of arts education and travels the country as the ambassador for the USO.
With a performance celebrating the American semi-quincentennial, here is Miss America, Cassie Donegan.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But should old acquaintance be forgot, keep an eye on the grand old flag. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me an endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
beautiful. Thank you, Cassie Donegan, for that wonderful patriotic tribute. Miss America.
Now marching down Constitution Avenue from the Lone Star State of Texas, here comes the New Diana High School Band. Established in 1949, the New Diana Band has a long and rich history of excellence, enjoying 20-plus years of consecutive UIL sweepstakes awards.
Well, yeehaw, you know I'm from Texas. Now that band promotes and preserves the military style of performance, recognizing the importance and rich heritage of precision marching, performing one of my all-time favorites if y'all want to sing along, the Yellow Rose of Texas. Let's take a listen and say, yeehaw!
TAPS, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, brings us our next float, featuring family members who have lost loved ones who've served in the armed forces.
TAPS provides hope, help, healing to all those grieving the death of a service member. So necessary.
Absolutely. Riding on the float is Bonnie Carroll, TAPS president and founder, along with representatives of the Washington Commanders, longtime supporters of TAPS and our armed forces. The families of TAPS remind us the meaning of Memorial Day and the true cost of freedom. The families you see walking in the parade represent over 100,000 members of the TAPS family.
Ah, don't they sound great? Founded in 2001, here they are, the Macmillan United Pipe Band, is brought to us by VA Biorepository Brain Bank.
With performances every year throughout the U.S., Canada, and Scotland, all three of Macmillan's competitive sections have brought trophies back home to the Washington, D.C. region. Let's take a listen.
Let's welcome Indigenous Enterprise, a dynamic company blending authentic native powwow dance with contemporary performance.
Here they are honoring their Native American family who've served in the U.S. military from World War I to the present day, empowering youth and preserving indigenous traditions through storytelling. The troupe has performed globally, from the Super Bowl to the Sydney Opera House, along with right here on Constitution Avenue.
fabulous.
Love the energy.
Here are the Native American Women Warriors, the first all-female Native American color guard.
The Native American Women Warriors' vision is to support the well-being of Native veterans, recognizing their unique position in our history and culture. Welcome to the Freedom 250 National Memorial Day Parade.
Our parade's timeline of history begins as we remember the heroes of the American Revolution 250 years ago. To get us in the spirit, here are the fife and drums of Yorktown.
Formed 50 years ago in Yorktown, Virginia for the 1976 American Bicentennial Celebration, they join us today in honor of America's 250th anniversary. They continue their mission to recruit young people to train in the rudiments and drill of 18th century field music.
Okay, so a group from Yorktown, right in our viewing area, making their way through the National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. The Yorktown Fifes and Drums featured there in that moment in the parade. A lot going on out there in Washington, D.C. during this parade as those Memorial Day events carry on here. Now, we are going to take a break, and then we will carry on with our morning stream. We actually have an event that we mentioned before in New York City that is up and running, and we may head out towards the White House area as well. Plenty going on, plenty to do. We're going to explore all of it when we come back. And we're back here on Live Impact News, 10:44 a.m. We are cruising right through this morning stream here on 13 News Now, the app. We are going to head out to New York City, where Zohran Mamdani has just taken the podium, the mayor of New York, speaking at a Memorial Day event. Let's listen in.
Here at the Intrepid, I can't help but think about all those who stood on this ship before and what they saw as they steamed for faraway waters. I think of the sailors and the Marines on the Intrepid's maiden voyage, standing on deck late at night in January of 1944, heading towards the Marshall Islands. The lights would have been off to make her a harder target for Japanese submarines. The Fighting One would have likely been zigzagging for the same reason. We often forget how young those from whom we ask the most typically are. Thousands of officers and enlisted men would have been on board. Many were still teenagers. This was the furthest many had ever been from home. They hailed from every part of our country, from Alabama and Alaska, from Brooklyn and the Bronx. With the lights off, they sailed towards a horizon they could not see, to take on the threat of fascism that endangered so many. Some of those sailors never came home. As we've heard, the Intrepid absorbed torpedo impacts and kamikaze attacks, endured flooding and fires. They took a human toll. Men like Donald Dominic DiMarzo, the Intrepid's fire marshal, Alfonso Chavarrias, a gunner killed by a plane that hurled into the ship, who never got to grow into old age. Back home, after each attack, cars pulled up in driveways. A solemn knock was heard at the door. A telegram was pressed into a loved one's hand. The toll of freedom has been felt by generation after generation, by loss after loss. And still, this ship floats. And still, our nation is free. And today we remember those who made it so, those to whom we hold an obligation that can never be entirely fulfilled, to build a city and a nation worthy of their service and worthy of their sacrifice. I stand before you immensely humbled to serve as the mayor of New York City, to lead a city from which so many of our people have answered the call to serve. And I feel a deep responsibility to the more than 135,000 veterans here in New York City, their families, and our Gold Star families. It is a privilege to serve those who have served. And I want to use the trust and power placed in me by the people of New York City to ensure that our veterans and military families receive the services and the support they deserve. In the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we cannot simply accept that so many veterans must live with food insecurity, homelessness, and social isolation. As we mark the solemnity of this day together and remember all those we lost, let us also rededicate ourselves to practicing the values for which they laid down their lives. Let us each do our parts to ensure that our city remains a beacon of liberty for all, where every person here can live that life of freedom from cruelty, from oppression, and from want. Thank you very much.
Okay, so there you heard Zohran Mamdani's remarks at the Intrepid Museum. The Intrepid Museum, a really interesting sort of piece of New York City's landscape as well. It's a private nonprofit founded in 1982 with the acquisition of the storied World War II aircraft carrier Intrepid. It's the centerpiece of the collection of sort of archival events that they have at the museum. Over 1 million visitors annually from all around the world. And, to a certain degree, it reminds you a little bit of USS Wisconsin that sits on Norfolk's shores as sort of our own version of that museum with Nauticus and the Naval Museum that we have in our own area, sort of their version of it in New York City, granted a little bit bigger and more expansive. Okay, we are now going to head we're going to head back to Washington, D.C., Arlington National Ceremony, where we've seen members of President Trump's cabinet and what appears to be other officials gathered at their ceremony in the nation's capital in observance of Memorial Day. So let's take a listen in on that event right now. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to say they're right now they're going through the attendees. I saw Hung Kao,
okay,
who in Virginia, he's now the acting Secretary of the U.S. Navy.
Has run for office multiple times in
is.
Virginia.
I see him. There's Kash Patel.
FBI Director Kash Patel.
Tulsi
Gabbard, who recently stepped down from her role as the head of national intelligence, but is still in attendance at this event. So great job by Sarah Calloway identifying some of the officials that we're seeing up there. And what do you say, Sarah? Should we listen in or should we continue to jump around a bit? Okay, let's listen into this event here.
We thank our official radio partner, Washington.
Please welcome the Executive Director, Office Office of Army Cemeteries and Army National Military Cemeteries, Karen Durham Aguilera.
Hey. Good morning. What a beautiful day. Yes, every single day is a beautiful day at Arlington National Cemetery. As we approach the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding in July 2026, this Memorial Day holds a special significance. It offers an opportunity to reflect upon the sacrifices and legacy of our service members who have protected our freedom for a quarter millennium. At Arlington National Cemetery, every day is Memorial Day, as we honor our nation's service members from every conflict in our nation's history. These hallowed grounds embody our nation's character and values, symbolizing America's past, present, and future. Our history is not only remembered here, it is lived. Nearly 430,000 are laid to rest here at Arlington National Cemetery. As you look across the rows of white headstones and the columbarium, remember that every individual marker tells a story of service and sacrifice, weaving together America's history. This memorial landscape honors generations of men and women who have answered the call of duty and defended our American freedom from the Revolutionary War through today, in war and in peace. Today, we pause to express our deepest gratitude, ensuring that their stories of valor and sacrifice are forever etched in the heart of our nation. Thank you, and let's all enjoy the musical program.
Please welcome Gold Star family members, Karen and Billy Vaughn and family.
Good morning. It's both an honor and very humbling for Karen and I to be able to speak in front of you this morning. The first time I visited Arlington National Cemetery was in 2003 with my wife Karen and our only son Aaron. At the entrance, Karen took our picture beneath a sign that read, "Welcome to Arlington National Cemetery, our nation's most sacred shrine. Please conduct yourself with quiet dignity and respect at all times. Remember, these are hallowed grounds." We walked these grounds for hours that day, understanding, though not yet fully, the weight of those words. The second time I visited Arlington was on August 26, 2011, to bury Aaron. For most of my life, I'd heard the phrase, "the cost of freedom." Like many Americans, I honored Memorial Day, understanding what it represented, but never truly feeling its weight personally. For many, it becomes a 3-day weekend filled with sales, family, friends, and backyard barbecues. But on August 6, 2011, the cost of freedom knocked on our family's front door. Every Gold Star family member here today remembers that moment. The knock at the door, the phone call, the words that instantly divide your life into 2 chapters. Before they died and after. For our family, it felt as though a mirror had shattered. One piece was gone forever, and every remaining piece would never be the same again. There were days, weeks, even months, when it felt like it would be easier to die than to continue to live. But we cannot remain in that place forever. Their sacrifice is too great. Our families are too important, and this republic must endure for those who come after us. As my friend Tim Brown has said, we can allow the weight of their sacrifice to crush us, or we can honor it by serving others and by living lives worthy of their sacrifice. I want to thank President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, and our military leaders for giving our warfighters the freedom to fight as they've been trained to fight, to defeat the enemy decisively without unnecessary restrictions placed on them that have too often hindered them in recent years. And to every Gold Star family here today, your loved ones are not forgotten. Their lives mattered. Their sacrifice matters. And may we live every day worthy of the freedom they helped preserve. Thank you.
For 250 years, the world has waited for America to fail. Empires around us have risen and fallen, borders have shifted, and governments have collapsed. But through every trial faced, our republic endured. Why? Because this nation was founded upon a single idea powerful enough to outlive kingdoms and empires. And that idea was freedom. For 250 years, Americans have possessed the God-given right to confront injustice, to resist tyranny, to worship freely, to speak openly and make our voices heard, not only in voting booths, but also in the streets, something most people in the world are unable to do without facing prison or even death. And by the way, one of the greatest lies Americans absorb is this, that freedom is normal. It isn't. It never has been. Freedom is not humanity's default condition. Those of us fortunate enough to have grown up in America have never known life without it. And because of that, we rarely stop to consider how precious it is or how staggering the price has been to preserve it. But our surroundings today memorialize one important truth. We only remain free because of the brave men and women throughout our history who have signed their names on that dotted line and said, even if it costs me my life, I will fight to preserve and defend this, the American dream. Every stone surrounding us represents a name, a story, a circle of family and friends who loved that person so much that they could not imagine a world without them in it. Which brings me to my son, Aaron. Aaron Vaughn was many things. A son, a brother, a husband, a father, a Navy SEAL, a fierce warfighter, a really good football player, and a warm, loving, kind, funny man who would give you the shirt off his back. But the most important thing I will ever tell you about Aaron is this. He had a personal and deep relationship with Jesus Christ. And that's why you see hope, joy, and resolve on this mother's face today, because I know that one day I will hold my son again. Throughout my life, freedom was a concept, a moment in history, a story about brave people who refused to bow any longer to the chains of tyranny. It was something we celebrated on the 4th of July. But on August 6, 2011, freedom became a sentence that began with, "We regret to inform you." Freedom became the silence left behind by a boy whose laughter filled every room he ever entered. Freedom became a folded flag placed in my arms on behalf of a grateful nation. My son had given his life for me, for us, for every American who wakes up under the protection every day of the red, white, and blue. In this after, it has become my mission to remind people that freedom is not an abstract idea, and certainly not something owed to us simply because we're here. As Ronald Reagan once said, you and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We can preserve this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we can sentence the next generation of young people to take the first step into 1,000 years of darkness. And he went on to say, and this is my favorite part, if we are destined to fail, if this way of ours is to be lost, then at least let our children and our children's children know that it did not fail because we failed to try. And I wonder, have you ever stopped to consider that our national anthem ends with a question mark? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For generations, our military has defended that banner on battlefields across the globe. But my greatest fear has never been that America will be conquered from abroad. My greatest fear is that we, the citizens of this nation, will fail to preserve her from within, that we will grow so cynical, so divided, and so ungrateful for what we've inherited that we forget what was sacrificed to give it to us in the first place. And God forbid we ever let that happen. The men and women buried in these sacred fields left us with one charge: don't let America fall. You can almost hear their final pleas around us. Make sure my sacrifice was worth the cost, not only to me, but to all those who had to go on living without me. I make no apologies for loving this country. America is not perfect. We have flaws, we have failures, and we have dark chapters in our history. But the reason I love this country so much is that because I understand a fundamental truth, that history can only be shifted where freedom exists. Freedom to speak, freedom to challenge, to protest and disagree, freedom to strive towards something better. And if you've started believing that America's best days are behind her, I encourage you to do two things. Turn off your television and step away from social media. Because when you or I walk into a grocery store and we begin chatting with the people around us in line, or when we witness strangers helping each other after a devastating storm, or when we're standing in a crowd at a ball game cheering for our favorite team, it is of no concern to us how the person standing beside us voted. What we're witnessing there in those situations is the real America, not the America we are constantly told to hate, but the America still worth believing in, still worth fighting for, and still worth dying for. Over the past 15 years since our family lost Aaron, we have been loved on so well by this nation. Americans literally and figuratively wrap their arms around us through our darkest hours. I've seen too much generosity, too much goodness to ever buy into the lie that the American way of life was not worth the cost. So no, I don't look around this country and see only the bad. Everywhere I look, I see the reason Aaron Vaughn gave his life. My prayer I leave you with today is this, that you see it too, and that we, as a nation of people blessed enough to live in the United States of America, live lives worthy of the sacrifices that brought us this far. Thank you.
Okay, back here in the studio after those words at Arlington National Cemetery, you can feel just how much this means to so many people around the country here. Now let's take a commercial break. When we get back, we still have the National Parade in Washington, D.C. We expect more speakers as a part of the event that we were just watching. So we'll continue to monitor all of this as we go forward with Live Impact News. We'll be right back. Okay, back here, live Impact News. We appreciate everyone who is spending their Memorial Day with us here, and we're going to continue to cover all of the Memorial Day events that we can. For now, it's back out to Washington, D.C. for more on the National Memorial Day Parade as it is continuing to carry on. It is an endless stream of bands and schools and honorees, and it just keeps on going. So we are going to head back out there right now.
We also want to thank the young Marines who volunteer each year for anything that needs done, such as carrying banners and helping coordinate groups down the route. The Young Marines is a national youth program for ages 8 through 18 focused on leadership, citizenship through community service, self-discipline, and living a healthy lifestyle.
Semper Fi.
2026 National Memorial Day Parade, presented by Boeing, is brought to you by DSS Incorporated, Chevron, Fundraising Strategies, Humana Military, and Uber.
Are you having fun? Well, welcome back. The Freedom 250 Memorial Day Parade is presented by Boeing, and it's brought to you by American Airlines. Thank you to our official airline, American Airlines, for providing transportation for the veterans.
Now, the National Memorial Day Parade was created by the American Veterans Center, whose mission is to preserve the legacy of our military men and women across the generations. The ABC is also home to the world's most impactful Veterans Oral History program, with more than 2 billion views across Facebook and YouTube and millions of subscribers. It's certainly worth a watch.
Absolutely.
You can watch these stories at youtube.com/ABC videos or at facebook.com/American Veterans Center. And visit AmericanVeteransCenter.org to learn more about how you can join and support our mission. So, let's get back to the parade.
Bully, bully. Before becoming president, Teddy Roosevelt gained acclaim by leading the famed Rough Riders during the Spanish-American War. A lot of people don't know he raised those troops at the Menger Hotel in San Antonio. In any case, God bless Teddy.
Teddy Roosevelt was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for his legendary charge up San Juan Hill and is the only president to have received the nation's highest military award.
Medal of Honor.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Before fighting with the Rough Riders, Teddy Roosevelt served as the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, preparing the Navy for battle with Spain. Later, as president, in 1907, he launched the Great White Fleet on its tour around the world, signifying the United States' arrival as a global power.
Following President Roosevelt is this giant United States Navy flag, and it's brought to us today by Pep Boys, founded a century ago by 4 proud Navy veterans.
We'd like to thank Events DC for supporting the Freedom 250 National Memorial Day Parade.
From Brentwood, New York, and making their first appearance in our parade, let's give a warm welcome to the Brentwood High School Green Machine Marching Band.
The Green Machine is proud to salute and honor those who preserve the freedoms we celebrate on this Memorial Day in the 250th year of our nation. Let's have a listen.
Lions Club International. Now I get to talk about the Great Lions Club. I've been waiting for it. I love them. It's the world's largest service organization with 1.4 million members and over 49,000 clubs across more than 200 countries and geographic areas. Since 1917, Lions have been improving lives through hands-on service and global outreach.
Riding the float and marching alongside are Lion veterans, proudly wearing their red, white, and blue sashes in recognition of their military service to our nation, along with other Lion members who serve with pride and purpose. Together, they represent Lions in action, leading through service and making an impact every day. This year, Lions are inspired by International President A.P. Singh's theme, Lead to Serve, Serve to Lead. It reflects the heart of Lionism, stepping forward to serve others, and in doing so, becoming leaders in our communities.
Okay, back here in the studio now, we have a Virginia Memorial Day event that is actually happening right now. It's the 70th anniversary of the Virginia Governor 70th Annual Commonwealth Ceremony. We are going to take a commercial break, and then we'll head to one of the Memorial Day events happening right here in the Commonwealth, coming up next, right after this. Okay, welcome to Live Impact News. Once again here, it is 11:17 on this Monday morning. Not just any Monday morning, it's Memorial Day Monday morning. And we have had a lot of focus here on the various events going on around the country in honor of those who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms. Now, it does appear as though Governor Abigail Spanberger has just stepped to the podium at the Virginia version of a memorial event. Let's listen in right now.
Dr. Mountcastle, good morning. To the veterans gathered here today, it is a pleasure to be with you as we remember those who never came home from their service. To the Blue Star families, thank you for being here. And to the Gold Star families, we are here to honor the ones, family members, your loved ones who have been lost. To all who have joined us in this commemoration this morning, here or at home, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this annual event meant to commemorate those Virginia has lost all year long. Right now, as we gather, the Virginia Department of Veteran Services is hosting Memorial Day ceremonies at state veteran cemeteries, in Amelia, Dublin, and Suffolk. A reminder that today, all across our Commonwealth, Virginians are pausing together to honor those we have lost. To them and to those watching at home, thank you for joining us. There is no more important work that we could be doing. There is no more important place than we could be here today. And for 70 years on this hillside overlooking the James River, Virginians have gathered to remember. Through years of war, years of uneasy peace, through grief still raw and grief grown old, through seasons of doubt and seasons of resolve, every single year, we have come back here together to say in one unified voice that we have not forgotten. Because that is who we are here in Virginia. That is who we are as a Commonwealth. And this year, the 250th year since American independence and our quest for it, it is particularly poignant to pause and take stock of what that remembering really means. 2.5 centuries ago, a group of ordinary citizens made an extraordinary wager. They pledged their lives, their homes, and their sacred honor to the idea that Americans should govern themselves, that a nation built on the idea of freedom, a nation built on ideals, was worth fighting for. And Virginia was at the center of that wager from the very beginning. It was here on Virginia soil at Yorktown that General George Washington and his allies forced the British to surrender, ending the Revolutionary War. Nearly a century later, when the Civil War came, the bloodiest chapter in our national story, many of its chapters were also written in Virginia. In the Second World War, Virginia sent our sons and daughters to North Africa, to Poland, to the Philippines, and of course, to Normandy. It was in Normandy that 19 young men from the town of Bedford landed on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, June 6, 1944, and perished there. 4 more from Bedford died in the Normandy campaign. It was a Virginia community that suffered the highest per capita loss in that quest to free Europe. And throughout the 20th century, Virginians have served bravely in every corner of the globe. Thousands of names are on these walls from the wars in Korea and Vietnam, conflicts that tested not just the courage of those who served, but the character of our country, the country that sent them. And a generation later, Virginians who answered the call and gave their lives during the Persian Gulf War, their names are on this wall, heroes who sacrificed so much. And then came September 11th, 2001, when the Pentagon on Virginia soil was struck, where 184 people lost their lives, among them Virginians, so many men and women in uniform. It was an act of war aimed at the very symbol of American military strength, and Virginia absorbed that blow alongside the rest of the nation. And the years that followed, it was Virginians, many of them stationed right here throughout the Commonwealth, who answered that call once again. Thousands of Virginians to Afghanistan, Iraq, and hundreds lost their lives in the war in Afghanistan and the global war on terror, and now we continue to have so many Virginians who risk everything for the cause of freedom. across the globe. But service has always been part of Virginia's shared history, and today nearly 714,000 veterans call Virginia home, roughly 1 in 12 of our 8.8 million residents. In addition to being home to the Pentagon, Virginia is home to the Naval Station Norfolk, the largest naval installation in the world. More than 100,000 active duty and reserve personnel are stationed here right now. And that is precisely why this place, the Virginia War Memorial, and specifically the Shrine of Memory, matters so deeply. Nearly 12,000 names are inscribed on these walls, and yesterday, an extraordinary group of volunteers came and read those names aloud, every single one. A marathon of remembrance that stretched from Sunday afternoon into the night. 12,000 names spoken into the Virginia air so that not one would pass in silence. 12,000 names, and yet we all know they are more than names. They are sons and daughters who promised they'd be home by the holidays. Husbands and wives who left behind half-finished letters. So many of them young people stepping forward to serve our nation at a time of peril. Every single one of them had a story to tell, dreams that were never fully realized, and talents that the world never got to see. We do not come to the Virginia War Memorial today, or any other day for that matter, to look past that profound loss. We come here to look directly at it because it is the most honest way to honor those 12,000 Virginians. In a few moments, the memorial bell will ring 4 times. 4 times for 4 new names that have been added to the Shrine of Memory in the last year. So I want to take a moment with those names. First Lieutenant Carl Libsey of Lee County, Virginia. He served as a navigator on a B-29 Superfortress in the U.S. Army Air Corps. His plane went down over the Pacific on a bombing mission over Japan in 1945. He and his crew were never recovered. Sergeant Robert Heel of Norfolk worked at the Naval Shipyard before World War II, and he later enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps in 1943 and served as a radioman on a B-29 Superfortress. His plane collided with another during a training mission over India. He was never recovered. During the Korean War, U.S. Army Corporal Theodore Landy of Norfolk was taken prisoner by North Korean forces and marched to a camp on the banks of the Yalu River, where he later perished from malnutrition. He, too, was never brought home. And finally, U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Mark Stetz, Jr. of Virginia Beach. He served for more than 20 years in the military, and after the September 11 attacks, he served in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and later 2 deployments in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. He worked in Army psychological operations, work that required civilian clothes and quiet courage in places that never made the news. And on a February morning in 2010, he and 2 colleagues were on their way to a ceremony marking the reopening of a girls' school, a school rebuilt with American help, when a roadside bomb took his life. He left behind a wife, 3 daughters, and his parents. For some of these new names, it took years of meticulous research, of refusing to give up, and to finally bring them here, to these walls, to finally say their names in full alongside those who also gave the ultimate sacrifice to a grateful nation and a grateful Commonwealth. And I think about what it means to a family to finally see a grandfather's name, a great uncle's name inscribed here, to know that Virginia remembers, to know that we remember. And think about it, what it says about us, that so many generations on, we are still working to make sure that no memory is left behind, no name is left unsaid. That is the promise this memorial makes, and that is the promise the Commonwealth of Virginia keeps. On Memorial Day, we grieve. It is a hard day, because somewhere in our Commonwealth, a child is finally old enough to understand what a folded flag on a bookshelf really means, and carrying that understanding for the very first time. And we honor the Gold Star families, the ones who keep living after the hardest possible thing happened. Their grief is not private. It belongs to all of us, and we carry it together. We carry it together, but we must also ensure that we are remembering those they've lost. 250 years ago, a brave group of individuals, most of them from Virginia, bet their lives on the idea that this nation and this Commonwealth, that it would be worth it, and they were right. And the men and women on these walls, they made that same bed in their own time, in their own way. And they were right too. And our job, our shared responsibility is to be worthy of their sacrifice, to build a commonwealth and a country equal to the sacrifice that built it, to give life to our extraordinary ideals by carrying it forward for those who served, and by remembering those who fell. And today on a hillside in our capital city, Virginia is doing that work. Today, 4 new names join the nearly 12,000 already inscribed here. And with the tolling of the bell, we say them. And we say to them what this memorial has always said. We see you, we honor you, we will not forget, and we will endeavor every day to ensure that our nation and our Commonwealth are worthy of your sacrifice. On behalf of a grateful Commonwealth, thank you. Thank you to all who have served. Thank you to those who have given everything. And thank you to those who loved them, lost them, and carry them still. May they rest in the peace that they helped make possible. And may we, all of us together, prove worthy of the gift that they left behind for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Governor. The Shrine of Memory holds the names of nearly 12,000 Virginians who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And as the governor just remarked, we often discover through research or notification by friends or family that names have been inadvertently omitted over the years in the shrine. And then we can add them that they may be honored with all the rest. And that's why it is so important for Virginians to remember that this is your war memorial. We rely on friends, we rely on families to visit the Virginia War Memorial, to look for the names that they know should be there. And every so often, someone lets us know a name is missing. Record keeping wasn't perfect in the 1950s or the 1960s. Every so often, a deserving name is left out. And it's so important that we find those missing names and we add them to that place of honor where they've deserved to be for so long. Some years we add a name or two, other years no names are added at all. However, this past year, as mentioned, we added 4 names to the Shrine of Memory. 4 identities, 4 sets of families who have been waiting for their rightful place etched in glass and stone. We will now ring the memorial bell for each one. Sergeant Robert B. Heel, U.S. Army Air Forces, World War II. First Lieutenant Carl Livesey, U.S. Army Air Forces, World War II. Corporal Theodore Landy, U.S. Army, the Korean War. Staff Sergeant Mark A. Stetz, Jr., U.S. Army, Global War on Terrorism. Thank you. Education is a cornerstone of the War Memorial's mission. You cannot preserve history if you do not teach it to future generations. We know that if we can help tell the stories of those who have served the nation, then some young Virginians will be inspired to serve as well.
Okay, so a big moment there at the War Memorial today. You heard from Governor Abigail Spanberger, the ringing of the bell in remembrance and honor of those fallen soldiers. And now continuing on with ceremonies. We're going to continue on with our stream right after this commercial break. We're about 75% of the way done here, but we still have another half hour to continue covering events. There are live events on every one of our screens right now, most of which, the large majority of which, are in honor of Memorial Day. So we're going to take a commercial, and when we get back, we'll continue on with our coverage. All right, we carry on with our Memorial Day coverage. We're actually going to show you two events happening right now, both at Arlington National Cemetery as we speak, right around the same area. We're going to listen in to see kind of a little bit more of a sense of what the ceremony, what place in this ceremony they're in right now. And then pending on the progress of that ceremony, we may head back out to the National Parade in Washington, D.C. So much going on. We want to try to visit with all of it. Up on the top of your screen and the bottom of your screen, both different parts of Arlington National Cemetery. Let's listen in right now.
Attention! Toe, right shoulder, on! Five, Harry, five. Colors ready, cut. Increase the front, mark. The mark's so light, but you probably have one. Front row, center file. Ready, dress. Ready, front, dress, center, dress. Ready, front, cover.
Hard march! Mark time! Left wheel! March! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11. Cars! Halt!
Present! Halt! Order! Halt! Post the colors.
Colors! Left wheel! March! Ready! Step! Mark time! Okay, so you see the ceremony ongoing there at Arlington National Cemetery. That particular area that we were listening in and watching just now is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It is a major part of Arlington National Cemetery. At the bottom, you have ceremony ongoing at that same cemetery, and then we also have a live look outside the White House where President Donald Trump will be departing for Arlington National Cemetery at some point here soon. He's also expected to participate in a wreath-laying ceremony and deliver some comment at that event, but that won't be happening until closer to noon, 12:30. So we may have that in our afternoon stream, perhaps. For the time being, the National Parade still happening in Washington, D.C., right down the street. And we have a what appears to be a fleet of U-Hauls that has taken center stage here at the National Parade. So let's head back out there and take a look and see what we got.
Flag of the United States Air Force aiming high.
The flag features the Air Force crest and shield enveloped by 13 white stars representing the original colonies on a field of blue. The flag was officially authorized by President Truman in 1951. U-Haul brings us this next float, saluting our World War II generation and the service of the United States Merchant Marines. During the war, some 250,000 merchant mariners served as part of the U.S. military, delivering supplies and personnel around the world. Nearly 10,000 men were lost, with the Merchant Marines suffering a casualty rate higher than any other military branch.
The Merchant Marines were recently awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for their valor and sacrifice in the war. We're so honored to be joined by them today. A few of their own, including Merchant Marine veterans of World War II, 98-year-old James Quinn and 99-year-old Cliff Richardson. Give them a big round of applause.
Grateful for your service,
yes,
gentlemen.
Absolutely.
From D-Day and the Battle of the Bulge to the Pacific, heroes like these men are truly witnesses to history, and we salute these remarkable Americans, the greatest generation.
The Central Oregon Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps and National Defense Cadet Corps comprises 3 Oregon high school programs.
The program provides leadership education designed to develop informed citizens with the Navy's core values of honor, courage, and commitment at the forefront. This next group is brought to us by the National WASP World War II Museum. In 2010, the U.S. Congress voted unanimously for Spirit of 45 Day, a national day that honors the men and women of the World War II generation.
You bet. Keep the Spirit of 45 Alive is an alliance of organizations and individuals working together to preserve and honor the legacy of the men and women of our greatest generation so that their values and achievements will continue to inspire future generations.
Members of the Civil Air Patrol are marching today, paying tribute to the sacrifices made by our World War II generation, carrying photos of heroes of the war. Some of the faces you see are those of Tuskegee Airmen, Medal of Honor recipients, and soldiers from every branch of our armed forces.
God bless them.
Okay, a little Rocky Balboa there at the National Parade in Washington, D.C. That was totally unique there. We'll continue on with our coverage here as we go forward, but first we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Okay, we continue to move through our variety of events that we have happening here on this Memorial Day Monday. We just greatly appreciate everyone spending time. If you have the day off and you're choosing to spend some time with us, we really appreciate it. If you're at work and you're able to still hang with us for a little bit, we appreciate that as well. We're just glad that everyone would spend a little bit of time with us here on this holiday Monday. And we've still got all these events going on. I say, what do you think, Sarah? Should we go back out to the National Parade? Okay, back to the parade in Washington, D.C.
Up next is the Flandreau High School Marching Band joining us all the way from Flandreau, South Dakota. This group of 28 dedicated students have performed all over the country, including San Antonio, Chicago, Nashville, and Anaheim, and we welcome them to D.C.
This large Taiwan flag commemorates the very special partnership between the United States and the Republic of China. Today, the ROC, known as Taiwan, remains a steadfast friend and partner in democracy and human rights. Today's flag is carried by the members from the Veterans Affairs Council, ROC, Taiwan. Please welcome the Kellogg'sville High School Rocket Marching Band from Michigan. With a song to honor our country, let's take a listen.
The 2026 National Memorial Day Parade, presented by Boeing, is brought to you by Freedom 250, celebrating the triumph of the American spirit, America's Navy, John Deere, Gary Sinise Foundation, Sunbelt Rentals, and Leidos. Our tribute to the fallen heroes of the Vietnam War is presented by American Airlines, official airline of the National Memorial Day Parade.
We're so happy you're joining us. Welcome back live to Constitution Avenue.
We're grateful for the thousands joining us here in D.C. on this soggy day, and for the many watching at home. On behalf of the American Veterans Center, you're watching the Freedom 250 National Memorial Day Parade presented by Boeing, and thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Get your patriotic ganas out. Let's go back to the parade.
Leading our salute riding in the parade today is Korean War legend David Ogden. He's joined by Robin Hutton, author of the best-selling book Sergeant Reckless, America's Warhorse.
I love Sergeant Reckless. Got a Purple Heart and commendations. Bought Reckless during the Korean War for $250 from a Korean stable guy so he could buy a prosthetic leg for his sister. He did 51 missions. Can you imagine that?
Unbelievable.
Thank you, John Deere, for supporting Freedom 250 National Memorial Day Parade and for pulling many of today's floats. Our next float honors the memory of the Americans who died in the Korean War, sometimes known as the Forgotten War, and features several surviving veterans joining all in honor of who sacrificed in Korea.
Well, we're not forgetting them. Joined by active duty military chaplains, this year's float is dedicated to the memory of Father Emil Kapan, an Army captain and Catholic priest. Father Kapan was captured while saving soldiers on the battlefield in November 1950. Held in a prisoner camp, he tended to the sick and wounded before passing away in that camp 75 years ago, May 23, 1951. Decades later, he was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor and is currently under consideration to be named a saint.
Oh, I love that. You know, there are about 400,000 Korean War veterans were alive today with an average age of the tender age of 95 years old. In 2022, a new wall of remembrance was dedicated at the Korean War Memorial on the National Mall, including the names of 43,000 service members, KIA, killed in the war.
From Summerville, South Carolina, here is the Cane Bay High School Marching Band.
The Cane Bay Band program is a diverse musical community featuring concert bands, jazz bands, and chamber ensembles dedicated to service and musical excellence. Let's take a listen. Our next float features very special guests, veterans of the war in Vietnam. The names of more than 58,000 fallen Americans are engraved on that Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall on the National Mall. And to the 2.7 million veterans who served in Vietnam, if you didn't hear it back then, we're here to tell you, welcome home and thank you for your service.
God bless you. These Vietnam veterans are supported by Sweet Mass Productions. Sweet Mass Productions is the premier developer for the Institute of Heraldry and proud manufacturer of your military awards and insignias. Born and raised as patriots in New England, they're founded by a Marine veteran and have been family-owned and operated for 3 generations. SMP is committed to supporting troops both on and off the battlefield, especially those in crisis.
You know, Maya Lin was only 21 years old when she created that monument.
She made quite a work of art.
Making their way down Constitution Avenue, proudly representing Northern Michigan, is Kingsley High School NJROTC Band, brought to you today by Music Celebrations International.
The program has a strong commitment and enthusiasm for leadership and service and is noted for its academic achievements. They're proud to honor the service and sacrifice of veterans while inspiring the next generation of leaders. Let's welcome Kingsley.
Next, we welcome Ozzy's Truck, a journey of awareness and tribute. This nationwide initiative is dedicated to raising awareness about the mental health struggles that our service members and veterans face.
U.S. Navy veteran Jared Ashley and NASCAR legend Richard Petty partnered to restore this truck, which once belonged to U.S. Navy sailor Jeffrey Ozzy Otzwork. Ozzy tragically took his own life in 1999 after serving his second combat tour. Having served alongside Ozzy, Ashley envisioned this restored vehicle as a traveling tribute, one that honors Ozzy's legacy while raising awareness of the unseen battles many veterans continue to face.
Okay, just a really unique variety of different parts of this parade. Everything from those high school marching bands all the way to, we saw a specialty truck there. We've seen veterans. We just saw a John Deere tractor pulling a float that is designed to honor Vietnam veterans. So any different number of events and attractions in the National Parade in Washington, D.C. here on Memorial Day. Let's finish up our stream by taking a look around the area. A really interesting set of weather characteristics that we're looking at here. As you can see out in Norfolk, quite hazy there out in Norfolk. A real sort of almost those very fine rain droplets coming down, almost creating just sort of that very lingering in the air. There's a sense of just a sort of an elevated water droplet layer just hanging over Norfolk. Whereas in Virginia Beach, we looked at the Virginia Beach camera not long ago and it was pouring down rain. Now it appears as though that rain has moved off into the distance, right? If you look out into the ocean, you can almost see that there's some rain out there, but the oceanfront itself relatively dry. So that will do it for our morning stream here. Again, a Memorial Day, an opportunity to honor and remember all of those who have sacrificed. And we will see everybody at noon on 13 News Now and at 1 o'clock here on Live Impact News.